You want to see how we do it in the pros?
Changing your swing is about repetition without repetition. You don't just hit 500 balls with this thing and change your swing. You also don't just hit 500 balls without a thought.
Welcome to Earned Not Given.
The greatest week in all of professional golf. It's Wednesday afternoon. We got the par 3 on in the background. I can't speak for you, but for me, I've watched more golf content from Live on the Range, reading blogs, listening to press conferences, and just fully consumed in truly the greatest event in golf.
Yeah, I mean, same as you. I've been pretty locked into all the press conferences. The Live on the Range stuff has been really nice, and I think the coverage so far, and we're only at Wednesday, has been incredible from the golf media so far this week, and I really look forward to seeing that carry through the weekend.
Yeah, I saw someone put something out that said every single piece of media content put out by the Masters is truly a work of art. I believe the entire tournament is a work of art. We could sit here and we could talk for hours on end about Augusta, what makes Augusta National such an amazing place, what makes the Masters so amazing. We could sit here and talk about the Champions Dinner last night or the Amateur Dinner or the par 3 that's going on in the background. But because I think it's important to just be precise and short, because by no means is anyone saying we're putting out works of art with every content that we release. Let's just go straight into it. We have the biggest golf tournament of the year, and we are definitely not the best at picking the best players in the world to win. But let's walk through our picks, why we have them, what we're excited about for the tournament, and go straight there.
I want to be honest. I have probably like 8 guys I'm thinking about. I know we talked about picking 5. And I'm going to narrow it down to 5. But this week, I've tried to put as much picking prep, if you want to call it that, into it to try to give decent picks. And as we sit here right now, I'm still very uncertain with the 5 I'm going to go with. The one that I'm really confident in and that I think is like my most sure pick right now is Patrick Reed. I really like the way that he's trending. Won here before. Confident guy. I like what I see from him right now. So that's the one that I feel really good about, and I'll say that's my number 1 for this week.
Love it. And I think that's what's amazing about this week is that there's so many players that can win it, right? Obviously, it's the Scottie Scheffler show, and the odds show that everyone thinks Scottie Scheffler is going to win. But I think the cool thing is anyone can win. Could this be the year that a first-time Masters attendee, participant, player, whatever word you want to slide in there? Yes, I think this year we could have a first-time winner since Fuzzy Zeller. That being said, I am not taking a first-time player as my number 1 pick. My number 1 pick is going to be someone who really enjoyed the dinner last night. Someone who hosted the dinner last night, someone who some might say hasn't been tested because we haven't seen him compete, but no one has that look in their eye and no one has a desire to come out and defend at Augusta National like Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm's my number 1 pick for many reasons, but at the top of that list is before Jon Rahm left for LIV, he was undoubtedly the best player in professional golf. Scottie Scheffler went on this run without Jon Rahm. This week is Jon Rahm's week.
Yeah, I like that pick. And I've seen some people kind of up and down on Jon this week, and everyone has their reasons for it. I wouldn't mind seeing Jon go back-to-back. That would be really cool. My number 2, I watched a video, and I told you about this. I think it was Golf Digest on YouTube. It was one of those channels. But they're talking about lefties and having success at Augusta. So I've told you for at least the last week and a half or so that I'm going to pick a lefty in my top 5. And I I stumbled on Akshay and thought maybe I'll go with Akshay. He's playing well, coming off a win. But I decided not to, and I'm going to go with Brian Harman. And the reason I'm going to go with Brian Harman is well, there's a couple reasons. But number one is he's already won a major. He's playing okay golf at the moment, and we're going to see some weather. And I think, when you look back at his Open win, there's a guy that can play good in the elements. It's that guy. So to knock off my lefty pick, I'm going to go with Brian Harman.
Nice. I like it. And I'm going to probably regret this, but I am going to let my pick be someone that grew up in weather, someone that has the weight of the world on his shoulders right now, but someone that just showed us that his game is trending in the right direction, played amazing in Valero. He's due to win. Tiger Woods said that he's too good not to win. And the game of golf, as we always say on this podcast, has a very, very good chance to win this week when Rory McIlroy puts on that green jacket.
That's my number 3. So it's a good segue. I have Rory as well. It just kind of, I hate to be cliche, but it just kind of feels like it's time. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I have this feeling. He played really well last week. He went out and saw Butch. It seems like there's a lot of things heading in the right direction for him. And then when Tiger said that the other day, it was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to roll with it. And I just have that feeling. I think he's going to play well this week. And I think it would be incredible for golf to see him win and complete the career Grand Slam.
Yeah, and obviously, like I said, we're watching a lot of these videos. We're watching a lot of these press conferences. We're listening to the likes of Brandel Chambly pontificate. And last night, I wasn't sure if I was going to pick Rory McIlroy, but when Brandel Chambly tried to tell me why Rory McIlroy couldn't win, I'm all in. Brandel, when Rory McIlroy wins, I'll send you the receipt.
Yeah, I there's a video that was on my YouTube this morning recommended. I listened to it. Mr. Short Game Golf, great channel. If you don't know who it is, go listen. He was talking about Brandel and the comments that he makes. And this isn't about Brandel. This is about our Masters picks. But since I saw that as well, that guy just kind of needs to pipe down a little bit. I think he just talks a little bit too much about these guys when we just want him to talk about the golf. And I think sometimes he just goes on these rants about the live guys or Rory. It's just like, for me as a golf fan, I don't know that adds to the game personally.
Yeah, and I think there's some comments that he makes that are warranted, right? Rory's a drawer of the golf ball. There's a lot of ball above your feet situations. And I do think he did say something that was correct, which is if we see Rory on Thursday come out and have some of those hanging lies and find a way to play that little baby fade feel to hit a straight shot into, say, that's into 5 or that's into 7 or that's, obviously Rory's hitting it all the way to the bottom on 9. But if there's one of those situations early on in the round where Rory doesn't seem to have trouble with those lies, I think he's on his way to playing great golf. Again, it's just an emotional pick. I want golf to win. I want there to be this opportunity for big stars to emerge, and that's why I'm picking someone like a Jon Rahm, someone like a Rory McIlroy. And then for me, my third pick, I think, is someone who can definitely handle that weather really well on Thursday. I think it's someone who has an amazing ability to score. This is either a player that's going to make me look like a genius or someone that's people are going to say, how do you pick that guy? But number 3 for me is Shane Lowry.
Yeah, it's funny. We talked about that when I saw you on the range yesterday. Talked about the weather, and I was like, well, we know Shane Lowry will be in first at the end of Thursday, and you agreed with that. And that's just seems like a guy who, like that, I know it gets thrown around a lot, but that bulldog mentality, and he has it. Shane is not on my list. I will say that. I do think he'll be leading after round 1, though. My number 4 is Jordan Spieth. me and you've chatted about this, and he's playing well. It seems like he talked about it on Sunday after Valero about his driving stats might not show it, but he's figured it out. And for some reason that spoke volumes to me. And I think that if he can keep it in play and use the driver as a weapon off the tee this week, and I think he has a chance.
Yeah, I definitely think he has a chance. I have Jordan at 5. I've gone back and forth a lot on my 4th pick. I've been pretty vocal about feeling like this was going to be an opportunity for Joaquin Niemann to step up. I don't know if it's going to be Joaquin at 4 or it's going to be Wyndham Clark at 4 for me, but I do think my 4th pick is going to be a first-time winner. So I'm doing like 4.5. Joaquin and Wyndham, or you can say I get 6 picks and I'll go Wyndham at 4, Jordan at 5, Joaquin at 6, because that story is going to be amazing, and I think it's great because we could list every player in the field, but I think there's some players that are going to make noise that aren't necessarily going to make it inside of my top 5. I definitely agree with you in P. Reed. I think he's going to play good. Sergio's playing very good. Sergio's in a great place. I think that would be an amazing story. I think your Brian Harman pick is awesome. I think when we look at some of these other players that could emerge, that's really cool. I think when we look at Augusta, it's really hard to come from behind and win, but we see these stories of Rory coming from behind and finishing second with that magic that he had in 2022. We see these players that can come out of nowhere, maybe not win the golf tournament, but they have an amazing weekend. I just really hope that this weekend it's more than just 1 or 2 players fighting it out. I hope it's a dogfight. I hope it's a battle. I hope there's many, many storylines, because no tournament throughout the entire year does a better job of really leaning into these stories. And then I think it would be important for us, right? Because Augusta's so special and Augusta has a tournament inside of a tournament. And yesterday we had an amazing podcast with an amateur golfer. I think it would be fun for us to say, hey, those are our top 5. We have some players to pay attention to, but let's pick who's going to be low am. So you can go, right? And for people watching us, we're now scrolling through the Masters app and we're looking at these amateur players, right? So you've got Santiago de la Fuente, you've got the seasoned veteran Stuart Hagersack, you've got the South African standout, right? Amazing. If you guys go and look at that video of Christo, right? You got Neil Shipley and you got Jasper Stubbs. The low amateur for me this year, I think without question, is going to be Christo.
Yeah, I don't know shit about any of these guys, to be honest with you, but I'm going to go with Neil Shipley because he's got that flow. Neil Shipley's got the flow coming out of the back, and I like that.
I really think Santiago's an amazing kid. I think he's awesome. I think what him and Pepe did at the LAC was incredible. Unfortunately, Pepe's not on the bag this week, so otherwise, if Pepe was on the bag, I for sure would have picked Santiago. But Christo is just going to be amazing. Pretty hard for me not to pick Stu. I think Stu's got a great chance, but the amateur that we're going to see sitting there next to John Rahm is going to be Christo.
Neil Shipley. And he's going to have nice flow, and it's going to look good. So I'm going Neil Shipley strictly because of the flow. I wish I could add more to this conversation. I really do, but I mean, he does look like a dog, though. You know what I mean? He looks like he's got that dog in him. So I'm going to go, I like Neil.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be fun, right? I hope everybody tunes in, watches the par 3 today. I hope everybody tunes in and uses the Masters app to their advantage, because it's such a unique experience to be able to pick any one of these players and see every single shot that they hit. You can see the video for every shot. You can follow it. If you're a junior golfer or you're an aspiring player or just a golf fan, it's an incredible opportunity to see that not every shot is perfect. How do they manage their way around this extremely challenging golf course? Tune in, pay attention, enjoy it. There is this mystique, though, right? Whoever wins this par 3 has never gone on to win the tournament. So
I don't.
we
Like
don't
his
need
tied
to.
for
We
first
don't need.
right now.
We don't need to pick who's going to win the par 3. But I do think because right now we're watching it, Casey's a big Ricky Fowler guy. He's at the top of the leaderboard
Don't
right
like
now.
it.
But tune in, enjoy Augusta, everything that the Masters tournament has to offer. We're not necessarily going to do the typical, hey, let's give you a recap of Thursday, a recap of Friday, but we will definitely sit down and do a recap of the Masters, the storylines, what happened, how it was. But before I close this, I think it's interesting to see some of the pairings. And one of the reasons why I moved Rory up my board was because he's playing with Scotty in round 1 and round 2. And I think that's going to allow Rory to get off to a better start than he has in years past. If Rory McIlroy can come out and be close to the lead, but not necessarily leading, because I think that would just add a whole nother level of pressure for Rory, and it would be this media mayhem. But I would like to see Rory shoot a few under in the rain on Thursday. I'd like him to follow that up with obviously a great round on Friday, and then we know what he's capable of doing on the weekend. Inside of my brain right now, everything is saying, should I change every single one of my top 5s? Because this tournament is so unique. The field is so strong, and it is a year where those powerhouses haven't always emerged, and there could be this amazing story. Last year, the story was Sam Bennett. Brooks Koepka obviously did amazing things, and neither of us put him inside of our top 5. I really felt like he was a contender. He didn't play well the last 2 rounds at Doral, and that's what moved him out of my top 5. Yeah, but I would really love to see golf win. I would love to see myself sitting on the couch, glued to the entire tournament on Sunday. I know everyone always says the tournament starts on the back 9 on Sunday. For me, the tournament starts tomorrow morning on that first tee shot on Thursday, and I'll be glued to the television, to the app, just fully engaged, because there is no greater golf tournament on the planet than the Masters.
Yeah. And I don't want to go too much into this, but I had a question for you, and I feel like it's important to ask. Tiger's back. He's playing. I don't know if you caught it. He talked about his plan originally was once a month, and then found out that wasn't realistic. To me, that I've said this on the pod before, I was really worried about the Riv withdrawal. I think there's more going on, and I'm really worried about this week for him with the rain and everything.
Yeah, well, I think the good news is the temperature is going to be higher. The weather, besides a little bit of rain, I think we're not going to see that cold that really, really immobilizes Tiger. Right. Tiger obviously has a chance to do something that's been noted, right? He has a chance to surpass Freddie Couples in the most cuts made at the Masters. Do I think that Tiger has a chance to win this golf tournament? I think anytime that Big Cat's in the field, he has a chance. I think Tiger having a great week would look somewhere between finishing 15th to 20th would be amazing. I think it would be great for golf. Would it be cool to see Tiger in the mix on Sunday? No shit. Yeah. But do I think that with all of the other players that we talked about, is Tiger winning the 2024 Masters? No. But golf has a chance to win if Tiger's relevant Saturday and Sunday.
I think the best outcome for me I don't care how he finishes. I care that he finishes, if that makes sense. If he makes a cut, I want to see him play all the way through Sunday. That would say a lot to me and say, okay, well, maybe there is some game left in Tiger. It would scare me if he would have to withdraw again. So I'm not putting any expectations on him. As a fan, I'm just excited to watch him play. And I just hope that his health can maintain the walk. And I think anyone would tell you he can hit the shots, right? I don't think anyone's doubting can he hit the golf shots. He can. He's shown that. I just want to see if the body will hold up. And if it does, that's a win for me.
Yeah, I think the win for me, right, is Rory getting the career Grand Slam, getting into that very, very elite group of professional golfers that have had the chance to do that. We talked. I think that this is a year where someone gets their second green jacket. That realistically could be Patrick Reed. That could be Sergio Garcia. That could be Jordan Spieth. That could be Jon Rahm. That could be Scotty Scheffler, right? So I do think that we have a very good chance to see someone go into that stratosphere of multiple green jackets in their closet. It's going to be amazing. And I hope that I've done a better job with my picks this week, but I really don't care if all of a sudden out of nowhere we're looking at a storyline of Akshay in the mix, or we're looking at a storyline of the resurgence of a player like a Sergio Garcia or a Phil Mickelson. Amazing. Do I think that there is a chance that the leaderboard is stacked with those top 10 players in the world? I sure hope so, but I would love it even more if it was 5 or 6 of these powerhouse, big name players and a few smaller names. That's what made last year so amazing to me, is that you had Brooks and John battling it down the stretch, but we had the story of Sam Bennett on Saturday. Just incredible. So that's probably a long way for me to say I'll be fully engaged to the Masters tournament. And I really, really hope that Rory McIlroy gets it done.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Guys, tune into the pod that we did yesterday with AJ and Aaron. It's a longer version of our podcast. It's almost an hour and 40 minutes. We walk through every single hole at Augusta. Aaron and AJ give their perspective from a player and a caddy. And then as we walk through the golf course, talking about each hole, we talk about the stories that emerged throughout that week in 2022. It's not only a funny one where we talk about how Aaron couldn't even figure out how to start the courtesy car that he had on Sunday night, or we talk about how he ran through the woods and tried to play with Tiger Woods, or we talk about how after he unfortunately missed the cut but played so amazing on Friday, his entire team and fan base stayed underneath the oak tree and consumed a lot of Crow's Nest beers. And then the next thing we know, we're back at the house. We're having a putting contest. Aaron's dad holes a putt, and out of nowhere, this guy just starts high-fiving him and is so excited. And I look at everyone and go, how is the security guard from the oak tree in our house right now having fun with us? And that is exactly what the entire pod encapsulates. That week was amazing, from playing with some of the best players in the world to hitting some of the best shots that were hit in 2022. It was amazing. So please tune into that pod. You can watch it on YouTube if you want, because Casey did an amazing job of putting in some of the footage from those stories, putting in some of the experiences we had. But for everyone, enjoy the Masters. Enjoy the greatest week in professional golf.
Let's go, Rick.
You want to see how we do it in the pros?
Changing your swing is about repetition without repetition. You don't just hit 500 balls with this thing and change your swing. You also don't just hit 500 balls without a thought.
Welcome to Earned Not Given.